Great day to be alive. Every day we rise is a great day to be alive, and welcome to the Seven Cities Forums of Hampton Roads presents Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And I'm here this morning, James Slim Overton, with our co-hosts Leah Dre Stiff and Thomas the Colonel Chapman.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
It's Monday morning.
Every Monday morning, right here.
Every Monday morning. We are here.
Yes, indeed. I have to mention that we did lose, I think it was Friday or last week, did lose a great person in the field of entertainment, Cindy Portier.
Yes.
And what a great loss, but what a great life he lived, that lived to be 94. And I know we have to be proud of him. I have to mention that with all the things he did give back to the HBCUs. A lot of people didn't know he was an honorary member of the Board of Trustees at Virginia Union University. And the year before I got there in '71, he came there with Bill Cosby and came on campus when they were promoting one of their 3 films. And he sent his family members there to Union. One of his niece was there when I was there. So we really appreciate the work that he gave to us, the dignity that he had in the films he made. And the most memorable one I remember was him slapping that guy back.
Everybody's talking about that film.
Out of all the things, that was something to see. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I don't know if any other co-hosts wanted to say anything about him. Or...
And also we should mention that he really gave back to the civil rights community as well as HBCU. So he was a great contributor to our communities. And he gave us a great set of works as well. So then you can go back and binge watch Lilies of the Field and The Heat of the Night and all of those great movies.
Yes. Yeah. He was a great man and for our times. And when you mentioned how he slapped back the guy in the movie, the white businessman or the guy who was being charged, and that is our first opening or look at white privilege and white supremacy and what they did to us. And so you also mentioned that civil rights movement, we need a new civil rights movement because the assaults are still going on today, because we do have 2 justice departments in America now. And it's evident of the charging that we get as people of color versus people of non-color get.
Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah. That's my comment.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime, and while I'm on there, okay, we need to do the disclaimer. The views that are expressed on this show are that of the host and the guest, and not of the radio. And you got to put that out there before I go too far out there.
And the right person gave that disclaimer.
The right person gave that disclaimer.
Yes.
We are not headed to Facebook jail, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Leah, do you want to introduce our guest?
It is indeed my great privilege to be able to introduce our guest this morning. And I'm going to start with the young lady first. Miss Renyatta Banks. Got it right, Renyatta?
Uh-huh.
Miss Renyatta Banks, who is the executive director of the Wesley Center, which is located on Elm Avenue. Ms. Renyatta came to the Wesley Center 4 years ago, and she has made some tremendous changes to the Wesley Center. The last time that she was on, I mentioned to her that my youth organization, Sankofa, we used to meet at the Wesley Center on Saturdays. And when I went in there to see the changes that she had made, I was just overwhelmed. The computers, the clothes closet, the food bank. I mean, there are just so many great things going on at the Wesley Center as she still works to serve that community in Southside Portsmouth. And now she has been joined by a young man who I am privileged to work with. And he's a taskmaster, Renyatta. I must tell you that now. He is a taskmaster, but he comes up with extremely brilliant ideas. And not only does he come up with the ideas, but he finds a way to bring it to fruition. It's one thing to come up with an idea, but it's another thing to be able to make that idea become a reality. And I tell you what, you are in for the ride of your life. That's all I have to tell you, because I go through it on a daily basis. All right. And none other than the undersheriff for the city of Portsmouth, Undersheriff Marvin Waters. Good morning and welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And we're just excited that both of you are here and that both of you are ready to share with us all of the wonderful things that you have planned for the Wesley Center. So now it is your time. And I know Undersheriff Waters, you may want to say a few words in an opening statement.
Okay. Well, good morning, Coffee Talk family. How's everything going with you all?
Great, great.
Thanks for being.
These are very exciting times at the Wesley Center. Our organization is celebrating 85 years of service to the Portsmouth community through Christian-based programming and services. The Wesley Center serves Portsmouth communities with a mission to empower the powerless and disadvantaged. The Wesley Center has been blessed with a dynamic executive director who has led us through these unprecedented times in this global pandemic. And Ms. Banks oversees the day-to-day operations of the Wesley Center and has also taken the Wesley Center a lot further than anyone could imagine. And even through this pandemic, keeping the mission of the Wesley alive and pushing it forward.
A great job. And I must mention also, I didn't mention in my introduction that Undersheriff Waters was recently elected as the president of the board for the Wesley Center. Okay, Miss Renyatta, would you like to say anything at this time?
But first, Undersheriff, I do want to say thank you for all of those great words. And I can't even tell you that it's a story because it's truly the truth that, you know, the Wesley is really growing during this time. And just to paint a picture, the Wesley Center, the building in itself is actually 3 buildings that were merged together some type of way. In the education wing of the building, that is the building that we're trying to rehab so that we can do our tutoring services, GED, and just expand our programs. But that part of the building has no HVAC system.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so during the end of this year, I was like, well, let me just do some research on what this community needs. And just by doing surveys from the people that we serve in the food pantry and other services, they mentioned that the Wesley used to have a great Head Start program. Mm-hmm. So I reached out to Head Start with Edith White over in Hampton, Newport News, and they came over to our building and saw it. And we're in the process of doing a partnership so that we can bring Head Start back to that building.
Wonderful, wonderful. I remember when Head Start was there.
Mm-hmm.
That is great.
Yeah, so to be for ages 2 through 5, full day. I mean, that's just a great program in itself. And we've just been writing grants to the city of Portsmouth and other foundations to gather the money that we would need to refurbish the building.
Okay. So do they have you don't have a projected date or anything at this time, right? Because you still have to have the building renovated and all.
Well, they're ready, but we're just not ready. So we're going to try to do for at least the end of 2022 of just starting to get the open houses and everything together so the children can start in the January semester. But it just really depends when you rely on funding. It's just when you receive the funding.
Exactly.
Yeah, because anything can kind of slow it up or be discontinued. So we're just trying to do baby steps until we have all the funds that we need to do the building.
Okay. And I understand that you all also have a major project that you all are planning soon.
Yes, that's going to help us with the building. We are actually having a Christian gospel concert May 7th at 7 o'clock at the Roper Theater at TCC Norfolk. We're bringing in Jacqueline Carr, Kalante Gavin, Portsmouth. I mean, is he from Portsmouth? Patrick Riddick. And we also bring in the Hampton Roads Boys Choir. I think they're so talented. So we wanted to have a variety so families can come and enjoy themselves.
Very good.
And at the same time, help us raise money for the Wesley Center.
Okay. And Under Sheriff Waters, coming in as a new president, what ideas and plans are you going to try to present to your board? And I know that there are many.
Well, just a few. The board has to be just as dynamic and supportive of our executive director. We have an executive director that hits the ground running, and we have to make sure that she has the ample support from the board and make sure that we're not playing behind the ball and that we're all working as a team. So that's one of the things. And one of the most dynamic parts of the Wesley is how many facets of the community that we serve. And that was one of the things that attracted me to the board. It wasn't just one component. It wasn't just education or food pantry or clothes closet. It was many different facets that really drove me to accepting a nomination to join the board. And even with this Christmas, Ms. Banks can speak on the toy drive that she conducted that was just amazing.
It was
totally amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. We were going to try to do it at the building. The numbers just kept growing and growing. And so I was like, well, let me reach out to the Children's Museum, because who doesn't love a museum that you can touch everything? So we really partnered with them on that, and the children absolutely loved it. The children was crying. They did not want to go home, period. And so it was a really, really good event.
That's wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, and from that event, about 42 children are now in our tutoring program.
Oh, great. And why don't you share some information on that tutoring program?
Right, our tutoring program is a free program. It's virtual. And all of the teachers are certified teachers in the discipline that they tutor in. And you have one-on-one tutoring, just like I'm right here with you, and for 30 minutes, and just really learn that work. We use a system called Calendarly, which a mom or a student can actually like upload their child's work so they can actually see the same thing and just really work on it. And they can do that for up to 3 times a week on any different subject.
So how many children do you have participating now?
Probably close to 50.
Ooh. And how many can you take?
You know, probably about a good 100. Because everybody doesn't need it all the time.
Right.
So I may need it for my ABC, somebody else may need it for 1, 2, 3s. So it just kind of goes with how you want it, and it just ciphers itself out. But we do understand that we may have to hire about 2 more tutors to actually cover it once the numbers go higher.
And how does one apply to receive this tutoring?
They can go on our social media page. That's what a lot of them do, or just call us, and then we'll just connect them so they can get enrolled and have a good time.
Okay.
From the tutoring program is where we get the parents that need the GED. So we have a GED program that's
great.
coming up. So it's just all just plays out for itself. And I try to tell everybody that the center of all this is the food pantry. If we didn't have the food pantry, we would not see all the other parts that need to be played during the same time.
That is great. Now, listen, how many board members are there on the Wesley board? And if one has an interest in serving on the board, what process do they need to go through? Under Sheriff Waters, you want to share that with us?
Well, we currently have 9 members of the board, and we should be picking up 2 members in our next meeting. But if someone has an interest in joining the board, they could reach out on social media. They could email myself or Ms. Banks and just send us their resume, and we'll sit down and talk to them and see if the needs meet what we're looking for.
Are there certain characteristics that you're looking for, or certain?
A willingness to serve and an understanding of progress.
All right. And I know I know you're an extreme stipulator for progress.
You gotta flow
You
with the
must
vision.
progress.
And
Yes.
definitely not just the resume person, just the
Oh.
one that you can say, I'm on the board of Wesley's.
Right, exactly. To stack their resume.
Mhm.
You actually want to work a bee. Someone
Yeah.
who jumps in ready to work.
Yeah. I call them, they need to be ambassadors.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Great, great. Slim?
Okay, Renyatta, you are based or were located in Prentice Park, and are most of the participants from that area, or are the programs open citywide to other?
Our main concentration is Prentice Park. That's our main. And if those spots don't get filled, then we go out. But more than likely, 99% of them are definitely in Prentice Park, because their parents come there for the food. So it kind of just plays off of that.
Mhm.
And that was going to be my next question. With the participants, the children you have there, or the young folks you have there, are the parents kind of participating, or do you require or request that the parents sort of participate in this too? And the reason I ask that because as far as we're looking for the future of these children or young people coming up, we understand now it's going to take a lot of parental guidance that's might be missing in a lot of areas or a lot of homes. And that's something that you request that the parents participate in the programs, that warrant that.
Well, the parent would definitely have to be there, because they would have to sign the child in. And kind of like do a quick face-to-face, hey, Mr. Slim, I'm here with Renyatta. If you need me, and sit in another chair. We definitely do not want people to just leave their children, because you have to learn how to teach your children at home too. So we really just encourage, like, let this be a mom and child event that you do, and so they can encourage them to do the best they can in their studies.
What are some things that the community can do to assist you in all of the great works that you're doing there at the Wesley Center?
They can definitely come to our fundraiser on May 7th. That's definite.
Why don't you give that date and time and place again?
It is May 7th at the Roper Theater, 7 p.m. in Norfolk.
And what is the fee for that event?
Well, we actually have an early bird tickets that starts next Monday, and they'll be on sale for $40. It's going to be a great event.
Okay.
But we love volunteers. We absolutely love volunteers. It's a lot of seniors that come through the pantry who are actually raising their children, their grandchildren, because their child is incarcerated. So we have a lot of them and just have that time on their hands. And they love to just come in there and stack books, or, just have that type of fellowship with someone else, because they've been in a house for so long. So.
But you know what? And your organization and that is a nonprofit, I believe, right? Did you say that? You really receive no state or federal funding other than with grants that come down the road. Am I correct?
Right.
So what I'm interested in is your GED program, and on one end of the spectrum, and then on the other end of the program is your Head Start and the tutoring program, because without education in this world, in the world that these young kids are going to come into, you'll be behind the 8 ball, or you won't survive in America without an education. So we need to get, to support your organizations like yours, is to get those kids to get them to read, write, and what they say, the old 3 R's, arithmetic, and earlier on, so they can survive, and then and get these get an education earlier on. So that's great work.
We're really trying to put a clog in that prison pipeline. We do not want our babies to start in the prison pipeline. So we're trying to put a huge chunk of junk in there so they can't make it through.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you know what? And the other piece is you're tackling another problem that probably goes unsaid is childhood poverty. And also that you see the numbers of people that are coming out there to go to the food pantry. And that is a story by itself, especially with the grandmas raising their children's children. And grandma might be living off a small pension or has got her Social Security check, and she's raising her grandchildren that somebody has been locked up. And so we don't want them to get caught up in that system.
Exactly.
So that's a big thing. So I have to applaud both of you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
An amazing thing, like you said, they're handling the food situation, they're handling the educational situation, and they're also handling the clothing situation. Because if you go in there and see the clothing area that they have, it's almost like you're coming into a little boutique. It's not like you're coming into some place where you're receiving secondhand clothing and things are just thrown on. It's really set up very nicely, just like a little boutique. And that's very encouraging as well. So you can get your clothing, you can get your food and your education all in a one-stop place, which makes it extremely exciting.
Yeah, it's been plenty of times people come in, like I have an interview at the new Wawa. I'm like, let's get you together. Let's get you dressed for this interview. And they come back and they say they get the job. And it's just a great thing. It's a really good feeling.
It is. It
really
is.
Mm-hmm.
And
how
about staff wise? What type of staffing do you have?
Well, right now it's myself, the tutors. We have a pantry manager and a pantry assistant. So again, when we get more funds through grants, we can bring on more people. That's why we love our volunteers.
Volunteers. You're hearing that out there, Facebook world, radio world. They need volunteers at the Wesley Center.
Really do.
With the new governor coming in, one of the first things he wants to do is put out mask mandates. So you all being a private organization, you don't have to, you can pretty much set your own rules as far as that concerned. What kind of protocols do you all have as far as for the COVID-19 with people coming in or the children?
When they come in, we still do temperature checks. If they don't have a mask, you still get a mask, rubber gloves to do food, or either a volunteer will pack your food for you. Because we want to be safe, because we want to be able to open the doors the next day. So we have to be safe. And then after the pantry, we're bleaching everything down, like old school bleach, like morning, Saturday morning bleaching. So
I got a question here from one of the people on Facebook Live, and they wanted to know, Ms. Joyce Smith wanted to know, what days and times do you receive clothing?
Wednesdays between 9 and noon.
Wednesdays between 9 and noon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But let me interject here, Leah, right quick. For those, since you're talking about Facebook, for those people out there on Electron lands, if you like what you're seeing, we also need to keep this program going, and we need your help. So if you'd like to send a donation or an honorarium, you can mail it to Portsmouth Coffee Talk, P.O. Box 7664. That's 7664, Portsmouth, Virginia, 23707. Need to get that out the way. And Slim is going to tell you right there, because we're getting ready to transition from the radio station to Facebook Live. So I think he wants to say something about that.
As far as the contribution?
4 hours. 4 minutes before that. I thought you might want to say something there.
Yeah, we're going to transition from the radio to Facebook Live in about 4 minutes. So I want to say thanks to the listeners on WGPL 1350 AM on your dial. And please join us next Monday morning at 6:30 for another exciting program. So we can continue on. I do have this question about, funding. I believe at one time you got a nice contribution from Dominion Energy, Dominion Power at the time, but Dominion Energy. Are you all going after corporate sponsorships? Something, and I guess that would be something that the board would be looking at, how they can bring in corporate sponsorships, something that would be an ongoing or yearly contributions, or whatever you can get from the big businesses.
Right. We are reaching out to them. Dominion Energy, Cox, it's quite a few of them that have been supporting us over the years.
And that's something we're looking at as a board, the strategic goal going into the next quarter, into the next year, and the next year after that. But one of the biggest things that we can do right now is support this concert that's coming up. One of the things we have to learn as a community is to support programs that support us. This program will support this Head Start program that will benefit the community. And it's something that we currently don't have. And it's something that we currently won't see unless we take an active role in making it happen. So early sales start Monday, January 17th.
Yeah, and you can't say that enough. And over the years, there have been some wonderful programs, fundraising programs there. So I encourage people not to miss this one. This seems like one of the biggest. And you're making sure you have enough space by going over to the Croc Center. Hopefully, one day we'll have something here in Portsmouth that's big enough so we can keep the business right here.
We'll have to keep leaving the city to go out to make things happen.
Yeah. But it's necessary if you want the crowd big enough or to create interest. And all the people that support it don't have to be from Portsmouth. You have to expand out and make sure people in Hampton Roads support a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good idea. So the more we can get the word out.
Well, you know what, you talking about all these programs, and Slim triggered me, and I believe he triggered me. And when he said about this incoming governor that's going to take over this state.
Oh, God.
And so I need to put that out there, is because one, you talk about, he's already said he's going to get rid of the mandates for masks and vaccines and everything. And so he is also in line with the rest of the Republican governors out there and attorney generals that are suing the federal government to get rid of those mandates.
That's true.
So people out there, be smart. Don't let them take you down to the funeral home earlier than you have to.
That's right. That's right.
What they want to do.
That's right.
Just be smart. Look at the science and get your vaccines and let them have their freedom. And so you also support the programs that help us, like our guests are talking about, because our kids need it. When we talk about, I mentioned the childhood poverty. Having as January got here, and these the parents are looking for their the child credit check that they were getting for the last 6 months. Just remember, your check was cut off by the Republican Party because they would not get their act together and would not one would support them. So just remember who wanted to get there. And so you have to do your part to get out here and vote, because people like your new governor and all of the Republican Party does not want you to succeed. And so I just had to get that off me, because Slim triggered talked about it, the governor that's coming up, and the dark days that are coming here, because programs, all the grants and stuff like that, watch it. It's going to be slowed down or stopped in the name of getting a budget going through or whatever. So that's why we need to start supporting programs like our guest or
exactly.
So it's going to be, we have to survive, and if we don't do it ourselves. And there's an old saying, when we look at for handouts, teach a man to what?
Fish.
Fish.
He can feed himself forever.
That's right.
Out, I ain't doing nothing. So teach these kids to read, write, and what I said, arithmetic, they'll be able to feed themselves forever.
Exactly, exactly.
But I'm interested in the GED program. And how many people you have in your GED program?
Probably about 15, and that's a partnership with Portsmouth Public Schools. So the school system actually tutors so that we can see where they're at. And we actually do the tutoring to prep them for the test.
Okay.
And we just found out actually in the last year that a lot of Medicaid or Medicare will provide the transportation to and from for their GED learning. So that's a really great ad. But you know, it's so crazy because it's really hard to get your GED.
It's harder than going to school for 4 years.
Yes. Especially one gentleman has not been to school in 50 years. And he was like, I know I probably would never pass. But I said, you probably could, because now they allow you to do subject by subject instead of sitting there testing for the whole thing. So when he told me he had been out of school for 50 years, I said, that's the same age I am. That's a long time.
No, and you talk about the GED test being hard. It's the citizen test for those who want to be citizens. It's hard, much harder than it is growing up in America. They have to know things that the average kid out here in high school or college does not know, couldn't pass the citizen test. And so goes back to it's almost like a poll test. Become a citizen in America. And so that's just another commentary I have here. So I might be put in FaceTime jail for mentioning the poll tax, because you know the right wing, especially our guest what we had last week, might say that it's CRT training. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Renyatta, how's the book program going? I think you have that little portable library outside. It's so important that we encourage our young people to read more. Everybody's dependent on the social media and everything. So how is that going? I mean, as far as
going great. We cannot even keep the book box full. You know, every day, every other day, we're filling it back up. We actually need a larger book box.
And where are you getting your books from, Renyatta?
Donations. A lot of them come from my house with my kids who done reading them, you know, chapter books and all that. We just donations, sororities, fraternities. They just either they bring them by or they just go ahead and put them in
there and put them in the box. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that box is right outside of the facility on the corner of Elm and Randolph. Elm and Randolph. They have a little book box there where you can pick up books, or you say put books in there should you choose, right?
Look, can I go get my dog real quick? I'm sorry. Okay.
So Colonel, coming on as the new president of the board, what new things do you plan to bring to the board in the capacity as president?
Consistency. I want to make sure that we're consistent. I want to make sure that we have a clear vision for the community and have a clear vision for our programs, and make sure that we interject a business model with the organization that works. Because we have a lot of programs that's going to need support and structure.
Yeah. I know one huge deficit in Portsmouth is so many young homeless people. Like 18 to 24, they're homeless. And I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, what resource do you have for them? It's crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that the Sheriff's Department is partnering with the Volunteers for the Homeless, and I think most of those people are older individuals. And I don't know what, I really don't know what they're doing for younger individuals who are homeless, because I know that there are a number of students who are in high school who are homeless. And I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has heard of anything that they're doing for these young people.
Well, you know, part of it, the homeless problem is because they are undercounted or not counted during the last census. So there probably not enough federal funds coming down to take care of them. And so that's going to be a whole lost generation of people that are waiting to be in that prison to a pipeline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame. And the other piece to that with the job situation, because a lot of the homeless are people of color. They're always and we are always first fired, last hired, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to get out there. And so you're talking about the clothing donations to get you, you know, so I can put on a nice shirt and a nice jacket to go get that job. And so if you tie that back to, yes, I did that to help you get a job, yes, that's going to help me, but I still need help getting housing. And so we'll have to, you know, that's just another thing that we'll have to tackle. I don't know if Marvin could help us on that. And is that part of your charter?
It's something that we're looking at. One of the things that I've been looking at as I review last year is redefining success. And we really have to redefine success as a community and redefine how do we achieve these goals? Because right now our vision of success is lost. It is totally lost. So we really have to get in there and look at things and say, hey, if education is our key, let's get these kids as educated. Right. If GED is our key, let's get GED programs in there. And let's make sure that we redefine success and we achieve it. And that's what's big for me.
Now, how willing you think your board current? Well, now I would not ask that question because it would not be appropriate at this time, because you haven't really had a chance to meet with the board to share your vision with them. So maybe at a later date, we'll get you all back on once you're up and running as the president, and you all can share with us.
I think it's a good consensus that it's the board's goal. We have a very progressive board that's ready to hit the ground running.
That's good. Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear.
Extremely progressive board.
Okay. So we should be looking. Wait, James.
Now, I was going to say the Wesley Community Service Center has a long and rich history of serving the community, and especially with its inception with was it the Methodist Church that started?
Yeah.
Okay, and are you all still involved with the Methodist Church? If so, what kind of involvement is it?
Well, just for clarification, it's the United Methodist Church, which is definitely different from a AME Methodist Church. So they did gift us the building. They give us funding, but it's not enough. They're at the bare line. So we literally have to do all of our fundraising. And we are the only mission institution for the United Methodist Church in Virginia.
Only in Virginia.
Only, So, you know, sometimes it breaks my heart. Like, you will have people that say, I support the Wesley, but I'm up in Lynchville, and never see like what the real need is. And this is help with this building and help with programs. So, because sometimes we get truckloads of toilet paper. I'm like, what? We need more than this. This not gonna get. So it's a lot of.
They still think it's a toilet paper shortage, then, huh?
They just kind of think of like for toys for children. Like most grandmothers, they give pajamas. And you understand, but you know, people want to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But the love is there.
Yeah, that's why.
That's a corporate donation. You know, it's a tax write-off. I have to get rid of this truckload of toilet paper that I can't sell to Target or whatever. So I'll drop it off to y'all and I'll write the whole thing off. So, you know, it's a corporate thing. So I
guess the thing, it may not be new toilet paper. It may be that one at the bottom that got a little rust on it or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I always
get-
say if I wouldn't use it, I wouldn't give it to someone else.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But I get a write-off, and that, that's business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes.
So
And
James,
I
you about to
also
say something, James?
also wanted to ask too, are y'all landlocked? And I know this is not something that's in your immediate plans, but if you all wanted to expand the building to be able to do more, are you landlocked, or is it some land? I know you have that area across the street which you use for parking.
Right.
Is
That's
that
a part of Wesley. We own that
Oh,
as
okay.
well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and are they still using the church portion? Is their church currently using the church portion?
We do rent out the church for a church function if they needed, a funeral here and there. Just that
So is no one there regularly every Sunday?
it is, but they're not part of the Wesley Center. It's totally a rental. It's
Okay,
a rental. It's not, they're not part of the Wesley Center.
but that portion of the building is open for rental. Like you said, if people have a
Mhm.
special function or something that they like to.
Yeah, we do a lot of funerals.
Okay,
A lot of funerals.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the capacity in that building, do you know, for the church portion?
I want to say it's like 325.
325?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 325 skinny people. I'm like, that is not 325, but yeah, I
And
would probably say 200 comfortably.
And which means that if someone wanted to rent that portion, it has to be outside of the church hours.
No, well, yeah, because they come in during the week for funerals, and they can come in after 2 o'clock on Sundays. It's really flexible. It's really
Okay, all
flexible.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that, because some groups often be looking for something like that to hold a program that's not too big. So
Small program. Mhm.
yeah, maybe we can get that word out as well. That could be a source of income as well. But
Absolutely, which will help when the other side of the building gets repaired.
Yeah.
So many people like, I want to use this building, but it's no HVAC. It's like
Yeah.
trees growing through the windows, so it's just not ready yet.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mhm.
but you all will get there. It's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to get there. It's a slow moving, but it's what they say, airplane getting put together in the air as it's moving. So
we have a strong board and a strong president, and that's going to make the difference.
That's gonna make the big difference right there.
The success.
I
you know,
love that undersheriff always answers his phone.
Oh, for you, he doesn't for me. I got something, thank you.
They say, oh, snap.
Renyatta, I will remember that from this point on, okay?
Oops,
You just got him into a bunch of trouble.
I know.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, and I really hope we can help get the word out, and hope we have you back before the actual program takes place, because I had a classmate of mine that grew up in Prentice Park, and he didn't realize that, and he spent a lot of time when he was growing up at the Wesley Center. He didn't realize it was still operating, and he's offering, and I will send you some information from him. He's offering to help.
Okay.
He has some special qualifications that he has that he wants to talk to you about, being able to contribute to in some way to the Wesley Center. So I'll send you that information. But I thought it was strange. He didn't realize y'all was still there, and and that might be the case of a lot of people. So
Mhm.
we
Or
we
either they
can
don't know our name, they just say the church on the corner,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
the big church on the corner. So
Uh-huh. Well, talking about that, you mentioned the ventilation system. Did you qualify for any grants, anything for under the stimulus program that was passed?
no, you mean for the HVAC system?
Yes.
No, because we don't use that part of the building. We do have new HVAC in the part that we do use, but it's
Mhm.
not being used. It needs so much. It still has heat by oil. It's oil heat over there.
Yeah, because I think that if you'd have qualified or you put in for a grant for that, then you could upgrade it off of that new money to get it through. And you might want to throw something up there before the new governor gets here.
Oh, we did. We submitted our HUD grant.
Okay.
So we've done that. So we usually do pretty well with
Mhm.
the city saying yes to that.
Okay.
And are you the grant writer for the Wesley Center, or do you have a grant writer?
I used to write all the grants, but recently I have a young lady in Utah that helps me write the grants.
Oh, great. That's great.
So last week we submitted 3 grants. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's January, February is so heavy on grants. We just keep researching and getting them. Mhm.
Mhm.
So there are no new programs right now in sight.
The
For the Wesley Center.
newest one would be the Head Start.
Sorry.
Head Start, that's the biggest one,
Mhm.
which would be a plus for those people on South Side of Portsmouth for their kids. And
Yes.
especially being all day as well. So that would be, and also a good opportunity for individuals to find employment as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
Or be that parent that volunteers there.
exactly.
One parent. So we're trying to do 2 classrooms of 20. So that's a great amount of children every day. So that's a awesome.
And I know for one thing, for Under Sheriff Waters, I know he's a stickler about that family unit and keeping that family unit together. And I know he will try in every avenue that he can find to make sure that that connection remains between the parent and the child.
Mhm.
I know he's doing that in the community, so I'm sure that he will do the same for the Wesley Center. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Family dynamics matter.
it does
Yeah.
matter. And
Letting
I'm
them know it's not a babysitting service. It's
exactly.
a participation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you keep them engaged, they will participate.
We will.
Parents will, you do some things to keep them engaged, the parents will come out and be a part of it. So
Most of our volunteers are people that come to the pantry.
mhm,
They say, can I just come a little bit early to help?
mhm.
And they just start that relationship because they see the good works.
Exactly.
So they're like, I want to be a part of this. So that's what they do, and they love it.
Mhm.
The whole Christmas thing we had, I was like, I know that lady's face, but I can't place her. It's because she usually comes through the pantry, and now she's
Okay.
volunteering. And she was like our main person helping us with this event. We had about 500 presents to gift wrap.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, she was like, just give me a chair, some tape and some scissors. Got her zone and knocked it out. And I'm like, that's excellent. And then you have some that want to come in and say, I have 700 kids. And I need, they exaggerate the number.
Yes.
We tell them, you can come back every day. You don't have to, we're trying to build up that you don't have to lie for service.
Exactly.
So you can just come back any day. I'm part of being a part of the food bank. We can't ask you any of those demographic questions. That's not our business. We're not trying to write grants off of that. We're just trying to write grants that we help people. Yeah. Because some of them don't have a license. It's been so many times I'm helping people get homeless licenses over in Norfolk at Workforce Development so that they can just have some type of ID.
Right.
So it's a lot.
In the city budget, it used to be a line item for community service organizations.
Mhm.
And I used to be on the board of Park, and they used to be a part of it. And over the years, the money just dropped down. Has Wesley Center ever been a part of that? Because, the city council were talking about the money they received and everything and who should be getting money. And I would think some of these organizations that have been around a long time and not taking anything from what some of these groups are doing in the communities, but seem like they would look at some of these organizations that have been around as long as you have, and you all would be a part of the budget line item that under community services. Is that something that you're all looking at too, Colonel
Well,
Waters?
We are part of the budget because we received the community development block grant. So that's incorporated. So that was due Friday. So they would take that and incorporate it in their presentation for the community funds. And then they will present it, I think in April, like the Wesley Center needs this, Park needs that, Portsmouth Volunteer to Homeless, but you may not see it like that. You may just see one bucket of money. But if you break it down, you will see different organizations that are funded.
I just remember when I was on the park board, we used to have to, around budget season, we would go before city council, making sure that that block funds and any other funds that they can make available to us. You know, if nothing's said, nothing's given. But you know, that might be something that you might want to look at, especially with the council that's up there now that's talking about giving back to the communities a little bit more.
We would definitely see.
Zella Raspberry is asking, how can organizations partner with the Wesley Center?
It would definitely depend on what the program they want to partner with is about. It has to be part of our mission. It has to be wanting to help the community, not help themselves through the community.
But in the interim, they would, if they had an organization that wanted to partner with you, they would either contact you or Under Sheriff Waters, and you all can. Okay, all right.
And you have to mention too, it's a place where you can come and have a good time as well. I mean, we're talking about a lot of serious things, but we have to make sure people say, well, when my children go there, or young people come there, we also have a good time. We also have fun. It's also a place where you can come express yourself. Hopefully there are conversations with the young people, because that's something that we have to do. We have to listen to them and make sure we keep their interest. So, and I'm sure that's something that goes on there when y'all, with all the programs y'all have there.
Yeah, we actually just finished up our 5-week healthy cooking class with the American Heart Association.
Right.
And it was so nice. I wasn't able to cook with them, but just being there with them, you could just see the fellowship and new friendships coming about. Even my mom enjoyed it. She just did it through Zoom on our visions, because my mom had just had open heart surgery in May. And so she was like, can I just watch them cook? Because she's in South Carolina. And she just enjoyed that, you know, talking to them. She would go to get the ingredients that she needed and kind of do what they were doing. And she really liked it. Really liked it.
I like that. Hard, healthy, preventative.
Yeah. So James said that heart is very, very crucial, very important.
Very.
Without it.
Amen. But are you in South Carolina for your mom? Where in South Carolina is your mom? What part of South Carolina?
Newberry.
Newberry, okay.
Are you from South Carolina?
My mother was from South Carolina, so every time I hear South Carolina, we have that South Carolina connection. She's from Beaufort, South Carolina. Yeah, Beaufort. So definitely so. But this has been truly refreshing to talk to both of you about all of the great things going on at the Wesley Center. And for those individuals who are just coming online now, once again, please mention the date and time under Sheriff Waters for the project that you all are coming up in May.
Early sales start Monday, January 17th, and the concert is May 7th at the Roper Center at the TCC campus in Norfolk.
Okay, and once again, who will be performing at that event?
Miss Banks.
So we have Jacqueline Carr, Kalante Gavin, Virginia's own Patrick Riddick, and we have the Hampton Roads Boys Choir.
So it should be for a fun evening. And the early sales, they can get the tickets now for $40. And if you wait and you're late, you have to pay how much?
$65. No, it's $50 and then $65 for VIP. But it's a beautiful theater. It's so vintage and beautiful. As soon as I walk in, I think about Dorothy Dandridge.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so-
It is.
so
It's,
cool.
and it
Mhm,
should make for a nice evening, a nice relaxing evening.
mhm.
And so I encourage everyone out there in the electronic world, get your tickets now to support the Wesley Center, because they're doing some great things in the community, and they're trying to build up to that point when they can have head start once again at the Wesley Center, and they're going to need the community to come to their assistance. Look forward to supporting you all and all that you all are working to do.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to all three of y'all buying y'all tickets.
Yes, indeed. Front row, VIP. We'll let,
Front-
we'll let Colonel buy our tickets for us, Colonel Chapman. So we'll be in the VIP section, Colonel
Yeah.
Chapman.
So where do you get
Right
your
off.
Hey,
Oh.
see, how do you get your tickets?
On the 17th, the link will go live, so it'll be on our Facebook
I
page.
found this on the web for how do you get your tickets.
Oh,
Check it out.
that is Siri getting into our business. My goodness.
Technology.
So you can go on our Facebook page, you can go down to the Roper, they will sell tickets, or you can just give us a call and order them through us as well. Mhm.
Hopefully, Portsmouth Coffee Talk can come there and do a remote there,
Yeah.
maybe before the show.
Mhm. That would be
So,
nice.
I'll talk to my co-host about that and see if we can
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, James.
let people know what's going on there.
Mhm. Y'all should dress up alike.
Which you what?
Dress up like, yeah, with the coffee
Colonel,
talk.
fix your shirt, Colonel. There you go.
There we go. See?
Look, and not only do we dress alike, but I can't find mine now. There's a cup here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But Renyatta, I'd certainly like to thank you because I don't know how long you've been there now, because since you've been there, things are really, and I have to give props to John
John
Hatcher.
Hatcher. Yes.
For you for years and years, taking nothing from him because he really did some amazing things the years he was there. Stayed longer than he really wanted to because trying to find somebody to replace him was kind of hard. But since you've been there, you came there. I remember when you came, you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And you're still doing it. Well, we were lucky to get you from the organization you were dealing with in Suffolk.
Yes. I'm
And
yeah.
get you
I
here in the
love
city
the
of
job.
Portsmouth. Yeah.
I
And
absolutely love it.
and we really appreciate it. And the Wesley Center is better for it, having you there and looking for some great things from the president of the board.
Yes.
He has already talked about, the colonel and what he's going to be expecting from his board members as well as the community stepping up and making sure that they support a community that supports an organization that supports the community.
I know
So-
when me and Colonel was talking about the board, we really want people to join the board that are from the community. So that they can actually come in and just say, these are the things, that could possibly happen, or should be
Things-
happening.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they need to just be part of the community. Not a community, but the community.
The
Yeah.
community.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Anybody on the board like that now?
Again, I'm sorry.
Which is a James.
Anybody on the board that's from the community now?
Yeah, actually, yes, it is. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Colonel Underwater, Dr. Ramsey, Miss Hall. Yeah, they all, Miss Hill, she grew up in Dale Homes. Her mother is still living there.
Okay.
So she really, and a couple of other names that we have, they're in the community as well, the ones that I'm going to discuss bringing them on. They're great. We don't have a phony board. If you're not doing the work, you're just going to probably eliminate yourself. You miss 3 meetings, you just off. Because you gotta be serious about this. This is a serious thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, our children, our community, this is a serious.
And especially in light of this pandemic has really shown where the holes were. And we got to patch those holes. And Wesley Center is certainly doing it, especially with the tutoring, because our kids were so far behind in school when they got back, because many couldn't adjust to this online world that we find ourselves in. And so that is great right there, so you are really filling in those places, those gaps that need to be filled in. The clothing piece for individuals who are trying to go to work, the food for individuals who just need a good meal, a good balanced meal, and then offering opportunities to learn how to cook those meals. That's really a great venture right there. So you all are doing some amazing things.
Thank you.
And I know that we're expecting so much more from the Wesley Center.
You were on the board at one time.
I was on the board one time. I really was, under John Hatcher. So I can see major changes, and I can see great things taking place, and it's going to be an exciting time. I'm predicting that it's going to be exciting times for Wesley Center. So you all just keep up the good works, and
thank you so much.
Yeah, we really want to thank you both for coming on this morning, and hopefully we can be a part of getting that word out, getting the message out about Wesley Community Service Center Incorporated. And because I think it's important that people know the work that you all are doing in the community. A lot of people know because they're participating, but a lot of people don't know that might want to, just like we had a person come on and want to know how they can contribute clothes. So never can have enough of those. So appreciate you coming on.
Especially coats and sweaters around this time.
Coats and sweaters.
Socks.
Coat, sweaters, and socks.
Yeah, no tank tops this time of year. So
no.
All the young girls are wearing them this time of year. I don't know how, but anyway. Coats, sweaters, socks are very much needed at the Wesley Center. So if you have an organization out there and you're trying to find a way to assist them, those are some of the items that you can get to them during this, as we prepare for this cold weather that I think is going to be with us during February and March. So those items are going to be greatly needed. So get your organization to make those donations. That's how your organization can help.
Once again, any last words from Renyatta or the Colonel?
I just want to say thank you so much for always supporting us. Mr. Slim was one of the first people I reached out to when I came to this position, and he has just shown me so much love, and I really appreciate that, really do. And just thank y'all for all the work that y'all do in the community as well.
Thank you.
Under Sheriff Waters.
I just want to thank you all for letting us on and continue supporting. And we got to support organizations that support our community.
And I like to tell the people that don't know, Colonel Waters was a supporter of Portsmouth Coffee Talk from the beginning. And
from the very beginning.
Up with the name. So he's a part of Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And we realize that, Colonel, and appreciate all you did for us in the beginning, getting us started, and the support you continue to give us. We appreciate that. And I just wanted everybody to know that.
And also, Slim, he's responsible for our logo, which is behind my head. It's because of Colonel Waters that we have this logo here. And we do appreciate all the support he's given us. And he still gives us behind the scenes support and suggestions. So we do appreciate all of that as well.
Yeah. And continue to pass those suggestions on, Leah.
I will. As he give them to me, I make sure you receive them.
Yeah. All of them will be constructive, either way they go.
That's right. That's right. So
but again, thanks everybody for being here on Facebook Live and YouTube. We appreciate it. And join us next week on Portsmouth Coffee Talk as we're still trying to lock in our guests, but just stay tuned, come back next week. I'm sure you enjoy the program that we have prepared for you. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Portsmouth Coffee Talk, James, Portsmouth Coffee Talk,
Coffee Talk is here for our voice.
our community.
In our future.
And our future. Okay. But Colonel had left, but it's Renyatta who has left us. So
We've been working on that for a year.
and still can't get it right, Colonel. Something is wrong with this picture.
Oh, boy.
Okay, guys. Well, you all
Yeah,
have a
thanks.
blessed day. I got a lot to do today. So
Have a great day.
All right.
let me
See
stop the
y'all.
recording.
All right.